You have set a course out of a nebula and into the captain's quadrant, where I, Captain Joe Dove, was right. We'll get right into that. We are so glad to have everyone here. Oh, he's high-fiving me again. Hey, buddy.
I'm telling you, you're number one. That's all. Number one for being right.
I'm number one because I was right. I am joined by the illustrious VHSJs, the glamorous Anita Flores, captain of the USS Caliente. Did I do that right?
Yes, perfectly.
All right. I say habla español. And experiencing kitten zombies. Please stand by.
Zoomies.
Jason.
Don't you know what zoomies are?
I don't know what
zoomies, not zombies.
Zoomies are whenever an animal runs back and forth for no reason, crashing into things. I have a new kitten. That crash was just her, and she's having zoomies right now because she knows that I'm podcasting.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, you can hear that. Thank you. Her comic timing's quite good too.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. All right. So let's hop into Picard Season 3, Episode number 4. With the
synopsis time?
Yeah.
Is that what you're alluding to, Joe? Sorry.
You
didn't say synopsis.
I thought I didn't. Picard and Riker and crew must confront the sins of their past as the Titan drifts helplessly in a mysterious space anomaly.
I also want to point out the title is grammatically incorrect. It should be no -win scenario.
That's
what y'all teacher.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, when Jason finishes the show, he will get his letter to Paramount, and I'm sure they will come up with a retraction. Now, Joe, I'm going to bring up a point here. The need for you to say you were right about this. I know I'm always wrong. I'll accept that, Joe. I put the fan theory out there. I took a swing, but here you are, gloriously gloating in your own. Wait.
Right. In his own petard.
But what are you right about? What are you right about? Because are you right that I was wrong?
No. I'm right that Riker was not a changeling. It doesn't happen to be particular.
It's quite easy to be right when you never put any fan theories out there. And just bank on everyone else.
No. Rewatch the episode.
I'm just saying that, as Worf would say.
No.
If you
I put a fan theory that there was a Q in the nebula that was going to free them out. I was wrong too at that point.
Oh, so why is your subtitle "I was right" if you were wrong?
I wasn't wrong.
It seems kind of disingenuous.
I was right about Riker.
Fight.
The reason why we're going into that is because somebody below me decided to put up a TikTok. It was right or wrong, so I still felt it necessary to ensure the integrity of this podcast.
Yeah, so Anita is she's shaking the hornet's bush or something. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
well, that was fun.
It's all your fault.
I may be wrong, but I'm pretty.
You're welcome.
That's all I have to say.
That's what we need on a T-shirt in the merch store.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have two versions because I'm gonna have yes.
We need to
perfectly.
All right.
So take control, my friend. Let's get out of this.
Thanks. Why am I still laughing at this? A year and a half?
And hey, there's nothing more resetting than a good fart joke.
That's right. All right. Nita, let's start off with you. I know you and I had to deal with the illustrious Gale Storm of 2022. Three, yeah. How was your experience? Were you able to finish the whole thing in record time like I was?
Yes. It was actually fantastic.
Right.
When I saw it the second time around, I felt like I got more out of it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a great episode overall. They're really they're hitting it out of the park every episode. It's a really action-packed, and it's going to be fantastic when they're sitting together. They just did a very, very good job. I love Shaw in this episode. He was fantastic. I'm a Shaw fan, always from the first episode. And I think he's great. I thought it was a fantastic episode.
Great. Jason, Roy Gaston, are you in concurring with that? Because that's why you're wearing a Niner shirt? Because they hit it out of the park?
I'm throwing up as much respect to the DS9 as the writers of Star Trek Picard Season 3 are. My brothers and sisters, thank you so much for this. I love how Picard Season 3 is a turducken, in a sense. Inside of Picard Season 3, we have The Next Generation Season 8. And inside Star Trek The Next Generation Season 8, we have Deep Space Nine Season 8. And I just love that. And you can argue we also have Voyager Season 8 in there as well.
And a sequel to Nemesis in a way?
In a way, yeah.
I'm so happy. I thought that this episode was just lovely. I think that was the word that I used this morning when I put it on there, because I watch these episodes at 4 a.m. because I follow a lot of stuff shows up on TikTok and on YouTube that just spoils everything. So I watch it as early as I can. Put me into a great mood. I love how Star Trek Picard is telling this overarching story, sort of like they did in season 1 and 2, and as Discovery does every season. But every episode is a self-contained story with a beginning and a middle and an end, and there's a satisfaction whenever every episode is over with that you just watched its own story. And this was a great one. It was an ensemble. All the characters had something to do and something to offer. There was great dialogue. I laughed out loud a couple of times. I told you, Seven's telling Captain Shaw that he was, a Richard. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I'm Australian. He was a dick.
Yeah. And I just loved it. Even seeing that photo of Odo on that pad, I was so happy.
About the Enterprise C model in the beginning.
Yes, all of it. This episode made me happy, and I cannot tell you how long it's been. Probably the closest I've had is Lower Decks, but just the waves of nostalgia, and it's constructive nostalgia, because it's not just looking back saying, look what we did. It's looking back and yet going forward at the same time. This is a show I could probably binge in one day if I had that capability. I'm kind of glad that they're only dripping one episode a week, because I would rip through it in one day.
I saw Picard last night. Oh my God, that's 10 hours.
Yeah, I caught her.
Oh, hey, Kitty.
Look at Zoomies.
We're not going to have Zoomies for the next few minutes because you are a prisoner.
Zoomies. My man, VHS Ace, my brother from another. Let me hear your...
Look, Jace kind of summed it up well. But for me, what I left from leaving this, there's some of the most profound, emotional scenes in this episode that I have not seen in Star Trek for a very long time. That scene between Picard having to face up against Shaw in the bar room and being made accountable. Well, in a way, Shaw has every right to feel like that and wanted his moment to stand up. And how that played itself out, it's just so wonderfully powerful. The fact, like Jason said, that it was a self-contained story. It was very nostalgic of TNG because they had a problem they had to solve and everybody had input in resolving that problem. I love the whole idea of going through a wave. And is it not a callback to Farpoint at the end of this episode?
Yes. They even name dropped it. Yeah.
Yes. With the jellyfish.
That's the birth of thousands of those creatures that we saw in Farpoint.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that Gates got to say to seek out new life forms, because she's never had the opportunity to do that before.
I loved it.
This is definitely a Dr. Crusher heavy season, and I'm all here for it, because she was so shortchanged in all the movies.
I was just going to say that, wasn't she barely in any of the movies? Like, I remember.
Yeah, but she really got non-service. So, overall, this is probably my favorite episode so far. And that's a big mark to say, because I really enjoyed episode 1 and 2.
And 3.
And 3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're almost halfway over, and Jordy hasn't even shown up yet.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that later. For me, the emotional dialogue given by Jonathan Frakes when he's talking to that desk, which is obviously the computer. So we know in the future that we're going to have iPad desks. So look out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have smart desks and iPhone desks. It's going to be amazing. Because if you pay attention to Star Trek from the very beginning, Star Trek always sets the trend for technology. The 60s show brought the cell phones. The 80s show brought the iPads and laptops. If you look at, Next Generation, he was talking on what was obviously a laptop, and it came out well before actual laptops. So I can't wait for my iDesk so I can go, bloop, hey, honey, can you pick up some chicken? Bloop. So I am so excited.
Microsoft came out with a Surface Desk about 2010, Joe. You're a bit behind the times.
No way, really?
And the reason why people are not doing the tech, because if you look at your desk right now and the whole desk is a screen, how user-friendly is it going to be to have to keep pressing the top of your desk?
Yeah, you're right.
Looks cool on television, but a dumb idea in reality.
I guess I was going to point that out, but I was trying to be polite. I just forgot how rude Jace is.
No, I'm Australian. I can swear and be rude. That's
He is the future.
I signed paperwork to say I can do this.
See, I have the receipts.
As the future people, they are allowed.
We are 17 hours in the future.
That's right. All right, let us go to the comments. Let's say hello.
Who have we got today?
Yeah, we've got Cosmic Space Mom is on holiday.
Yay!
Stuck on the holiday.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it's a very exciting program.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've got Sarah.
Hi,
Anderson.
Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
And then there's some dialogue about where they're from, and I'm not going to reveal that. We got Shaw redeemed himself. I agree.
He justified.
Yes, he was justified.
For me, it was a justification for his douchey behavior in the first episode.
Yeah,
he was absolutely right in that retrospect.
Absolutely.
Just like Captain Dove, he was absolutely right. I miss same stories, and I'm like, yeah, me too. I get it. And then Texas Jason is a cute little kitty.
Yeah.
Quite a demonic kitty at the same time.
Battle Cat. What a name.
What a great name for a kid.
You know why? Because, she's cute.
She's super cute.
I've also heard her be quite vicious. Yeah.
She was already like SWAT, and she wants to be on the show. Take over the
She is already popular on TikTok with her Battle Cat TikToks of the day and wisdom. She's awesome.
That's fun facts of the day.
Yeah, Sarah's comment here. My partner was saying that 2 episodic versus 1 continuous story.
Yeah, they prefer, like my mother said, they prefer the episodic where it's just self-contained.
I do. No, I like a mixture of both. I think this show's got that balance.
Yes.
Really got that balance.
It does.
There's one big overarch, but each episode is self-contained, which is
like Jace was saying before. Yeah.
Absolutely. Agreed.
All right, let us go forward into.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I prefer just to have it come out. I love that. Sometimes it may be good. There's a lot that was maybe good, and there was a little bit of shit. But let's get into that. We're going to start off with Jace. We'll go backwards this time.
Well, I really don't have that much criticism. Like the criticisms I had about characters before, I just mentioned was kind of redeemed. So for me, it's not a perfect episode, but it felt. Oh, look, maybe I could say, hey, I wish I'd seen Worf in this episode because we got nothing of him.
Yes, that's my con.
But that's probably the only con. But what we did get delivered was a very great hour of television. It was an excellent hour of television, actually. I was a bit jarred in the beginning when I'm trying, because my head's like, he's a changeling. And they immediately, at the start of this episode, negate that theory completely.
Yeah,
that was heartbreaking. I was heartbroken.
Yeah. I was cool with it. Whatever.
I stood up and clapped, and my wife was like, what's going on?
No, but besides that, we get delivered some, because at the end of the day, I love the concept they've lost all hope. It's a really interesting point to start this episode off, which carries on really for the first 20 minutes, well, almost half of the episode. Yeah. But I love it because the whole reasoning for that is now people show their true selves in moments where you've got 4 hours left. And we get some unbelievable scenes based upon that, as far as I'm concerned, all framed around Picard's flashback to 5 years prior when those cadets are talking to him. And I thought that paid off really well as well. Shaw was excellent. Mate, Jonathan Frakes, who mentioned how good he was before? Yeah, man, like, holy moly, what a performance this guy's given in this season. Picard, you know what's really interesting I found in this episode? I found myself thinking, hey, he's getting old. He's becoming more wrong. His wits are not with him anymore. In a way, the show's saying this is a reality of age.
This is reality for all.
You are not the peak captain that you were on the D anymore, on the E. Yeah. You're a man who's gone through a lot and is now older. So maybe you're not, switched on. But MVP for me with this one was Beverly Crusher.
Mm-hmm.
She felt the most Dr. Beverly Crusher from TNG for me in this episode. I felt like, I hadn't seen my mum in a while, and here she was. I felt safe. It was great.
Oh, that's so true.
So that's it for me anyway.
All right. Anita.
There was a lot of great moments and very few not so great moments in this episode. I think that for me was that moment with, and again, I'm just taking a moment because they're so good. Every scene is so good. It's a conversation that Riker is having with Seven. And he's giving her that authority to look into it Ranger style.
Yeah,
I love that.
That is what I got from that. Do it Ranger style. And she goes out there with her head up high. People are looking at her and wondering, how many times can anyone in Starfleet experience their first officer being sent to their room and relieved of duty? That is a rare moment. That is something a captain just doesn't do. That easily. So it's tough, right? And I love how she just holds her head up high and she does the job, and she does it with style. I can't say that I the only thing that disappoints me continuously with Picard's behavior is, and I say continuously, not continuously here in Picard, Search of Picard, but overall, is that his lack of ability to just talk to the people that Locutus hurt. When he was transformed into a Borg, they left his face very clear. You could see it was him. It was noticeable. That was intentional. The Borg did that intentionally, because whenever anyone looks at him who was there at that Worf 359 fight, that is who they're going to see. They're going to see Locutus. And we see that he just lets people talk, and he doesn't address it, and that annoys me to the core. I wish that he would address it. I don't know what he would say. I'm not saying justify it, because there is no, he was taken over. He had no control, but there's no real conversation happening, and I wish there would be a conversation.
Nita, I'd just like to say with that, I felt that was wonderful, his reaction, because it was showing, to me, it was similarities of like people from World War II. And no, if you think about Nazis who escaped the war and then were exposed, that's kind of similar how they would behave. They just accept it and they walk away. They've accepted they've done horrific war crimes. And what Picard did, Nita, you're right, it's a war crime. Beyond. So he has to accept. And I don't know what else Picard's to do in that. He deserves every comment like that, because he
does.
He was unwilling. Actually, you know what? I'm going to retract that, because did he ever choose that choice?
He didn't choose it. It was something that was brought on him. No,
exactly. But so I thought he's handling it with dignity. Sorry, Nita.
This also.
It's okay.
Yeah, this also reminded me of when Picard first met Cisco. It's like, oh, this is not our first time meeting.
Oh, definitely an echo of that scene.
Oh, absolutely. I could see that relationship just reoccurring. And I have to say though, Picard did handle it this time much better, because as opposed to just turning around and continuing talking about Bajorans, he let it happen. And when his son was about to defend him, he said it's okay. And I get what Jason's saying, and I can see that. I guess just I wish there was more of a conversation going on. I think that the Federation expected everyone to just accept Picard back without having those conflicts. And I think that it put him in a position to face a lot of grieving people.
How do you handle someone like Shaw in that environment, though? Shaw was aggressive. He had a lot of emotion to get out in that scene.
Ooh,
he was also high as a kite on meds. So reasoning with that man at that time, there was no way that could have happened anyway, I don't think. So, favorites, great scene though.
Yeah, Jason.
Can I speak now? Am I permitted? I'm just wondering.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I still tolerate you all. I got the impression from this episode that it was a lot of people dealing with trauma. So I'm gonna build off of what the both of you said. I think that Shaw is dealing with trauma. I think that Jack is dealing with trauma. Beverly's dealing with trauma. Riker is dealing with trauma.
The Nebula is dealing with trauma.
Picard has been dealing with trauma for 25, 30 years after what was done with him. Everybody on this ship right now is broken in one way or another. Seven is dealing with trauma because she's aimless right now. She doesn't know where she's going. I'm gonna say again, one of my pros is the acting right now.
Yeah.
I never knew Jonathan Frakes was this talented. This writing it has opened my eyes to just how much of a talent this man is. I'm not ranting.
she wants you to continue.
Yet?
She loves
Cosmic Mom loves the rant.
Yeah.
Well, I will make a rant just for you.
Aww.
See now I'm just kind of
completely throwing him off.
All right, so anyway, Jonathan Frakes was incredible in this episode. I've forgotten the name of the actor, but the man who plays Shaw, that's one of the best monologues we've ever gotten in Star Trek history.
Yeah,
I mean that's up there with the monologue from Jaws, the USS Indianapolis monologue.
Oh,
and
yes.
That's what I was thinking the entire time. Like, wow, this is so good.
Oh, dude.
So yeah, this episode is just littered with pros. If I had to choose a con, and I feel really bad for saying this because I really like Ed Spaliers. He's playing the part of Jack Crusher, not at all like I expected.
Who's Ed Spaliers?
Jack.
No, I appreciate that.
I was expecting him to play him as the bitter, you're never there for me, Dad, that kind of thing. And he's not. He's playing Jack as a very, I don't want to say mature, but he's kind of like a roguish person who's off doing his own thing. But at the same time, he's not just this bitter little ball of nonsense. And I feel like we skipped over that. And although there was that very nice scene that plugged those seemingly random flashbacks into the main story in one very brilliant way, I just feel like Jack does not have any ill will towards Picard. I think that he believes Picard never wanted him. And it's something that has cost them years. And so, again, there's that trauma. I'm going to go back to Riker for just a second because I was watching something on YouTube, and I actually think it was our buddy Sean Farrick who said this. But they said that why have Riker and Troy broken up now after they were so happy in Nepenthe?
Yeah.
Well, if you really think about it, that whole situation in season 1 of Picard opened some old wounds because Riker found out that his son was curable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, now he's having this existential crisis now.
Ooh,
where he has become an ineffectual captain and an ineffectual leader. And that is, in a way, Riker has become what Picard was in season 1. And I thought that was a really clever way to mirror, Riker and Picard in that way. I really, and I'm jumping around because I was talking about Ed Spliers. I'll come back to that here in a second. I'm going to come back to it now because I need to wrap up, because I'm just going to sit here and just go on and on and on and not rant. I'm actually just giving thoughts. My one con, and again, I really like Ed Spliers. I like the way he's playing this role. But whenever Picard said, "What are you, like 23?" I was like, yeah, 23, 20 years ago. He does not look 23. Older. He looks like he's in his late 30s.
Yeah.
And I know it's traditional that you cast older actors to play younger people, but quite honestly, why?
I could have done it.
Why? I mean, if we would have had somebody
like Joe Pombo.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, because you're always right, Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
So your constant quest for validation continues, my friend.
I mean, my
Picard would have had to have fathered him whenever he was like 10, I guess. I don't know.
Picard was 10.
Well, sorry, James. I don't mean to...
It was during that shuttle booty call. I do love the fact that Picard told a big story about a booty call.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
I love that. That was hilarious.
Jack telling the story to Beverly after they were married. He's like, "Yeah, let me tell you about the time that me and Jean-Luc went
booty call hunting
down on that planet."
Yeah.
Well, let's talk.
That's a story I can tell our son one day.
Well, let's talk about that booty who we mentioned.
That's the reason why Wesley never came back. It's like, she's going to tell the story again.
Well, let's think about her booty, who has clearly... We were trying to figure out early, just before the show, how old Beverly was when she had Jack. Now, I don't want to get
super
gross
uterus,
here, but that's, super... Her ovaries are very strong.
It's the 24th century. It's the 24th century. You have that... The bad admirals are living to be like 120. McCoy's walking around the Enterprise at 147. Yeah. You know what? Women are going to be having babies in their 60s, 70s, maybe even their 80s by this point.
Why would you do that?
Why?
Why would you do that?
Listen, no. As the resident woman,
why?
No, as the resident woman, there's got to be a cutoff.
No. But
yes.
I'd like to hear Jason.
Yes.
Because in the 24th century, if you live longer, you don't feel like you're under a clock to start a family. Now, sometimes, as in Picard's case, it works against you and the clock runs out anyway. But maybe people wait until they're in their 60s to get married. You go and you have your adventures and you live your life, and it's like, okay, I'm 60. It's time to settle down.
Well, if that's the future, you can go suck it, because I would never want to get married. Like, you do this stuff when you're young for a reason, because when you're old enough to realize you shouldn't have done it, it's too late then. You've already raised your family.
But here's the thing, though. If women in their 70s look like Gates McFadden does now, I'm just saying.
I'm not saying anything against her booty.
Listen, no.
Gates McFadden.
Can I just chime in here? She's beautiful. Her getting a little something, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
At 70, bringing in a child, ew. No, the uterus, I can tell you as a woman, the uterus is screaming, give me a break.
I think
that is why there's a cutoff.
Yeah.
But in saying that philosophy, then, if people live a lot longer, we have this problem now with kids who are maturing later. They're teenagers longer than ever before. So that means we've got 30, 40-year-old teenagers running around. Again, the future could go suck it if that's the case.
Yes, I love Cosmic Mom. Cosmic Mom's comment. The best.
We'll bring them up.
We gotta bring that one up.
My pros and cons, all right, was we haven't gotten to meet the host, who's right.
Let's ignore your mom just so you can talk.
Exactly.
People, we got a little ball in a moment. But let me tell you, my biggest con, because nobody had mentioned it, was the fact that the Shrike and Amanda Plummer's character, Vatic was actually a sub boss. She's not the main baddie. She reported to some goopy thing. She cut up her own hand to talk to a goopy thing, and I was like,
"What?" But isn't that what was understood already, though?
I had that feeling already.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah, I understood it to be
bad.
Yeah, because she says that.
Wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
She says
Change your name, Joe.
Because the captain Plummo says that. She says it. She says that she's a hired gun, and they talk about this conversation. So if she,
but I just feel like she could have been. I don't know. It just was weird that she didn't get that much screen time this episode, and she cuts her hand off to communicate with something. I thought that was weird.
Cool.
Well, how else?
That was a changeling.
How else are you going to remove a butt bug from a changeling?
Yeah. That's a changeling. I think
my theory. Is she a changeling? No, is she?
No, she's not a changeling. But the changeling done cut her hand off and put a changeling on as a hand.
We heard you like changeling, so we put a changeling in your changeling.
Yeah, right.
You lost me there. Yeah, absolutely gone over my head. Yeah. I just thought she's a changeling.
No, I think she's a changeling as well.
Yeah, I think she's a changeling. Yeah.
But what a way to communicate. Here we are worried about your T-Mobile contracts and all that. All you got to do, man, is cut off your hand and you get your hologram in your boss thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm getting terrible signals on my hand right now. Can you call back?
I mean, Mint Mobile's good.
Like this.
My favorite thing that happened was Riker using the same trajectory with the asteroid that she used with the other ship to slam into. I thought that was
fun.
I was like, Riker's maneuver, the Riker maneuver
is back again.
The whole idea of throwing stuff at ships seems to have happened a couple of times in this series already, and I freaking love it.
Every time. I was like, oh, he threw the rock back. Oh. All right. So let us now move on to the comment section where we're going to talk about my mom's uterus. And don't worry,
and Jason, you were worried that I was going to drop the F-bomb, which I have.
I'm about to.
Come on, dude.
I'm with Cosmic Mom.
I ain't getting pregnant now. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then she goes, F that. Yeah.
Because technically, that's what she is. She's a senior citizen. If technically. No, that's your mom, Beverly.
They're both senior citizens.
Sarah's
comment. I thought she was part of the changeling terrorists. Oh, yeah. So
maybe.
That's the whole thing. There's a group, a sect of changelings. They factioned off. Yeah. So,
maybe.
I thought she was going to be a hierarchy, like a top.
You are right, Sarah. 100%.
Yeah, right, Sarah. And I think she was talking to a sect link. Oh,
yeah.
Like a new great link. Imagine. Oh, a baddie link. And then as far as wombs go, it's medical advances.
Yeah.
If Picard can be a synth,
we can have.
You can have a synth uterus. All right.
Oh God!
Totally do it. It's not about the medical advances.
You can have a computerus.
Bravo.
That's great.
I would not be.
We just end the show right now. Just end it.
Hey, this is, you know what? Credits.
We need a T-shirt. We need a T-shirt with that on it.
I'm giving you guys so much merch just from my stupid stuff.
Yeah, from his life. We get all this.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. All right, let's hop into speculations.
Oh, future speculation. Oh, you caught me out. I wasn't ready.
So, what's next? I don't know.
Can I say this is a dumb segment for the show? I'm the producer. I've come up with it, but it's a dumb choice because I'm going to say this. This show is doing such an excellent job of not only hitting the nostalgia and giving us familiar beats. I got no idea where this show is going. And every three times I've tried, I couldn't have been more wrong.
I was right.
That's the name.
Enough with your being right. Technically,
you know who our next guest going to be on the show, Joe?
Jason was right.
You know who the next guest going to be on the show, Joe? Dr. Phil, because He needs to have a chat to you, dude.
Yeah.
Why do
That's a
you
bit
always
security
feel like you gotta be right whenever
Let's
you
see.
ever put out a fan theory of your own that is correct?
No, I put out fan
You
theory.
see,
that was correct.
I can put a cat in a sack, but I can call it a booty call. You know what I mean? Now, what's this about butt bugs I keep hearing about?
So we'll start with Jason, even though we you don't really like.
No, man, we're sticking with Dr. Phil. We're sticking with Dr. Phil.
Oh man.
What do you mean she just cut off her arm and made a call with it? I tried that once and I didn't find nothing. It just hurt really bad.
I just wish Jason had a giant video screen behind him where he could get up and point out things on it.
Yeah, that would be kind of.
What is he? What is he? A podcast weatherman? It's raining mud bugs.
I'm not even going to attempt to go on about what the future, because I don't know where it's going right now.
Well, I
can tell you what I hope is going to happen, but clearly my judgment is completely off, and I thank Star Trek writers for that.
I think there's another changeling on the Titan. I think that it's more than one. I know that the one that we saw in today's episode, it was the same one, got killed. I don't know. I don't know that they would just send one.
On that particular,
I think there was, yeah. I think
they planted them all across Starfleet, like they did.
I think so. Yeah.
Was one of the Badmirals a changeling in Deep Space Nine? Jace? Any of the Jaces?
No, not the Badmirals. No.
Even if I said there was, I'd probably be wrong. So.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid to say anything right now because I feel like I'm being judged.
If you want 70-year-old uteruses to give birth, I'm judging you.
You are right, Nita. It makes logical.
Do you think a computerist needs like Wi-Fi or anything like that? Or do they emit Wi-Fi?
Oh, there's it, baby.
You're getting 7G in there. That's
high
speed.
Yes,
the next
absolutely.
It gives new meaning to the word hotspot.
There you go. The puns.
The puns. Jace, do you have a Texas Jason? Do you have?
Well, I think the asset is the key here. Why is Jack so important?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do the changelings want with Jack? What does Jack not know? Because his funky little visions he keeps having.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, what's that about?
I don't know. I have.
He needs Dr. Phil.
I have a couple of theories. I think with all of the callbacks to Locutus of Borg, when Jack was made, we know that Picard had Borg nanites in his system.
No.
Little nano swimmers.
Yes. You know, they're just swimming through there going, we are the Borg, we are the Borg. So
that would have played so much.
So I don't know. I think maybe there might be something to that because it's just something about the way that the black junk just like builds around there that just makes me think of like the Borg nanoprobes. My other theory of why they would be after Jack, maybe it's unrelated, maybe it is, but we know in Deep Space Nine that the Federation illicitly created a bioweapon against the changelings.
Correct.
Yes.
What if Beverly was on the team that made it? Again, I have no basis for that. I have no evidence, and I will not be taking questions from the press at this time. And of course, I'm going to go back to something I said last week because I really think that I'm onto something here. If you are a breakaway sect of changelings who want to get even with the Federation, but you don't have the means to do it, what are you going to look for? You're going to look for an army. They're good at cloning soldiers. They had the Jim Hadar.
Yeah.
And they know that right now, at least at the time, they knew at the Daystrom Institute was the work of Dr. Soong, who created a device that could make golems. Yeah, bio-golems. My theory is that that's what they stole. because
I agree with that theory.
They want
because
to make,
if you watch
Jim Hadar.
If you watch when the Shrike, when she gives orders and you see the inside and she and they're like there's a piece that goes flying. Because I had to watch it on my phone because of my internet issues. I paused it to see what it said, and it said Daystrom Institute, and I think it says soon on it, but I couldn't make out
it said
exactly.
Daystrom Institute something robotics is what it said.
Yes.
On it.
No, okay, so maybe
that's what I think they're after. I think they're after the Golem cloning technology, and that is to build their own army because that's what they want. They want to get even with the Federation, and for something that is more powerful than that, something so powerful that they would just jettison the portal weapon.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I could think of. Now, how Jack figures into that, I have not figured it out yet.
They want those nanites that are in them.
It could be they want the nanites, but if that's
maybe Beverly
wouldn't have them anymore. But why not go after 7 of 9 or any of the other?
But maybe Beverly hits something within Jack.
The super uterus.
And that's where he's getting those visions.
If she's done that, she ain't winning any Mother of the Year awards.
No, she's not.
Listen, she's not.
Yeah, fuck him.
That's why you don't have kids in your 70s.
Come here,
Poor
Jack.
choices,
I'm going to put something in your brain. Oh no, it's not going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot.
So I'm going to go back on my theory of something to do with yesterday's Enterprise because we got.
Oh, really? You were right on that one, Joe.
Really?
Tell
us more about your theory.
You know what?
Tell us more about your theory.
It's called The Long Game, okay? So it might not be right in the first couple of episodes, but I think we're getting way too many references to the Enterprise C. And you guys are going to be so heavily. It's okay. You know what? At least I have the attention of my crew here in the Captain's Quadrant.
If you are wrong,
down to look at a car wreck.
Next week, guys,
rubbernecking.
I propose this. If he's wrong, next week he has to write, I'm always wrong.
I reckon he gets demoted.
Oh,
we demoted to captain.
I can't do it.
To crewman.
No.
Pull off one of those little war dots. Go down.
But
down to a commander immediately.
You know what? If you get to do the long game, I get to do the long game.
With the butt bugs?
The butt bugs are behind it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. It's the
Can you imagine if that's the case?
Like,
we're thinking we're going to probably hear with Joe going, I was right. Jason will literally have a street parade.
You know what I mean?
The school band will be playing behind him.
I will have on a crown. I will be holding a scepter.
Exactly.
The Goodyear blimp will be floating
and the cat
with the words, he was right on it right before the army shoots it down.
Yes. The other thing, I think it's time that we see Jordy. He's the last next generation.
Well, also Brent, but you know.
Yeah, Brent.
Jordy,
well, I think they're going to go hand in hand.
He's got to show up in the next episode.
Yeah.
He has to.
Oh, can I say, how cool was that little scene with his daughter when they catch her out as being the changeling?
That was awesome.
Pretty cool.
She's really good, actually, as an actress.
She's a very good actress. But if you're LeVar Burton's daughter, you better be.
Is this actress? Is she LeVar Burton's daughter, or is it? Okay, so she is actually LeVar Burton's
she's
daughter.
the actual daughter. Yeah. I like when she says, "I am Jordy's daughter."
I think I know.
I'm like
engineering.
Yeah, no, you don't know nothing about engineering. Go fly the plane.
Look, the moment she worked, the soon as she said that first line, as an audience, knew that she was the changeling. Yeah, so the rest of that seemed about finding how they were going to discover she was the changeling. And Shaw knew he executed the plan that he said to do earlier to Seven. Yeah. Was like, this is how you catch them out. You know, you ever seen that movie Blade Runner? That's what she's basically going to do. And it was great, you know.
Yeah,
it was cool. Sorry.
So I'm hoping we get to see the Enterprise C next week.
I just want to see a Enterprise.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that whenever they arrive, whenever they go to meet Jordy, who's running the Fleet Museum, I'm going to say it again. I think we're going to see Voyager. I think we're going to see Excelsior. I think we're going to see the Enterprise B. We'll see the Enterprise A. We'll see the saucer section of the Enterprise.
That's a
B.
hell of a big hangar to put them in. If it's like an aviation museum.
Have you seen how big Space Dock is?
Yeah.
You know, guys, wait, you know what I want to see? What is Worf flying in?
The La Sirena.
You think?
Yeah.
He jumped and held his breath until he got to Rafi. He was just flying through space going,
hey, man, if anyone could do it,
landed
it's
in Worf.
It's Worf. That's right.
Yeah. All right.
No, I mean, I was just curious. I want to see the ship he's in.
Yeah, he's in La Sirena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see.
See what the comments.
Comment time. Yes. No, Joe, you're not getting a baby brother.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy them an iPhone case then either.
No, that's right. There we go. Oh, well.
Oh,
Computerist.
No. Computerist.
Yeah.
That is going to be a T-shirt, Sarah.
That's a T-shirt.
If they shove a computer into my hoo-ha, I'm suing Jason.
Please ratify that as Texas.
I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible for what you do in your private time with your private area.
Oh, boy. All right, guys. Let us go into a commercial break.
We'll be back.
Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, is now playing at theaters everywhere. But you can call 1-900-FUN-2-TREK and play the Star Trek adventure games. Complete 3 of the all-new games and earn your official Starfleet Commander's Patch, available only from the Star Trek Adventure line. Don't miss this Star Trek adventure of a lifetime. Call now and take command of the USS Enterprise. 1-900-FUN-2-TREK is waiting to beam you up. Takes about 4 minutes to play each new game. $1.45 first minute, 95 cents each additional minute.
That's expensive. My God.
It is expensive. People actually did that back in the day.
Jason's doing it now.
Yes.
He's ringing them right now, is he?
It's a dead number. That's weird.
It's a dead number.
It's a dead number.
I thought of it just now. I guess it was the sound effects in that commercial. But did anyone notice when Riker cut life support on the Titan, the alarm that went off was the Nostromo's alarm from Alien?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, I thought I recognized it. I couldn't pinpoint it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was the Nostromo's alarm, and I was just that was such a fun little Easter egg in there.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that commercial.
It was so great. Those 900 numbers. I never called one.
No,
I always wanted to.
No, I couldn't do that.
That was before we had the internet and we knew what fun was.
Yes.
That's so true.
Jace, do we have a VHS?
Of course we do. It's
all right,
my
so
time to shine.
It is your
now.
time.
I'm taking over.
You are officially captain of the Spectrum Sanctorum. I leave it to you, sir.
No worries, not a problem. And I'm occasionally wrong. I'm securing myself to say that. Let's see how right you are this week, Joe, with another episode of Name That Trek.
It's time for Name That Trekisode. The hell is it?
I just wanted to let people know who has been assigned to whom. So
yes,
Texas
Jason,
Texas Jason has Ricardo Pirone. And Joe has Sarah, and Joe has Sarah Andrews.
Sorry.
And I have Cosmic Mom. I'm sorry, Cosmic Mom. Please do not abandon me.
All right, let's
play the game.
Let's play the game. Oh, it's actually started a bit early, guys. Oh, I'll go back. I'll let it reset because every second counts here in this game.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So we're ready to go, guys. I'm going to press play now and see if you can pick this episode out.
Okay.
So this is okay. It's forming. We're getting slowly coming into focus. Remember to yell out "Oi" when you've got the answer.
Oi.
Oi.
Oh my
Jason.
God.
Is it the perfect mate?
Correct. Well done, Jason.
Yes!
You have
Mama
nailed
Jensen for the win.
It was. Oh, I'm going to hide it for bonus points. Can you name the season and the episode number?
It was season 4.
You're right. It was season 5, episode 21. I would have picked with you, Jason, because when I decided to do this, I actually thought it was a season 3 ep. And I was shocked to realize how late it was in the season.
I did. I couldn't think of the name. I knew the episode. I couldn't think of the name.
Famke Jensen plays in it. She plays the.
Famke Jensen.
She was amazing in this episode.
Yeah, she plays the perfect mate. It was fantastic.
And it's actually
at that time the perfect mate.
Yeah, it's actually quite a really good. I really enjoyed this episode because I reckon.
Yes.
Apparently,
very.
Let's congratulate Ricardo Pirone.
Liked it too because they did it all over again.
Yeah.
Let's congratulate Ricardo Pirone.
What you didn't realize, Nina, that's Rick from the channel. That's Rick from the channel. And guess what, Rick? You're going to be winning 2 things, Jack and shit. So let's move on.
Rick, you're going to get an off-the-shelf T-shirt. That's our other show on the channel that Rick and I are doing. And you're gonna
that's Rick. Yes.
T-shirt. So go to your closet and grab it.
And that was another episode, guys, of... What a stitch-up job. One of the co-hosts wins it. I'm sorry, guys.
I should have known.
These better moving forward.
I should have known. I should have recognized the name. I always call him Rick, so I didn't. I apologize.
And that's really, you know what I don't have this week, Joe? I don't have a stupid Star Trek question.
Oh.
It's been a bit lacking. I had a really great one lined up from Nita, which we did last week. Jace gave me one, but I unfortunately didn't get time to kind of put it together. Unless Jason remembers what that stupid Star Trek question he put forward was.
I don't even remember my kids' names. Why do you think I would remember that?
I hear you.
And you think people in their 70s should have children?
Wait, didn't you have a kid? Oh, I did, didn't I? I wonder where I put it.
Maybe that's what this week's stupid Star Trek question is why have kids in your 70s?
Why have kids at all? I do have a thought, though. Do you think that Wesley is watching from a higher dimension as Picard and Jack talk, going, call him the boy. Call him the boy. Call him the boy.
Tell him to shut up.
If you know Wesley's showing up at any time, Picard would have just said, shut up, Wesley. Wouldn't that be the best intro ever?
I really, at least once this season, want to hear Picard say, shut up, Jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
That would be
very
excellent.
Plausible. You know, we'll use this time, Joe, to actually talk about a couple of things I missed talking about on the show. We'll use this as 10 forward.
There you go.
Yeah, we just turn this into 10 forward because that's the kind of producer I am on the moment. The whole thing you were talking about with Jack and why you were upset, why Picard or Jack doesn't seem to be worried about his relationship with Picard, because I think the moment you saw him in the bar, I think that's the moment Jack accepted that he didn't have a father. So at this point with Jack and Jean-Luc, I think Jack's like, hey, man, a little too late. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I think, though, that, in Picard's defense, when he lacks family of his own, wife, children, I think that because he didn't have those opportunities, I think that maybe he has learned to accept his reality and say, the crew is my family. Starfleet is my family. Because, and I think that it was perhaps something that became real to him, and Jack not really knowing his history, and how he dedicated first to Starfleet, and then everything else was like behind him and coming.
The big white elephant in this room, though, Nita, is, and let's face it, Picard is so selfish in this season. He's very selfish in this season.
Yeah.
And that's what has been exposed, in my opinion, in his behaviour, is that he lived a life of pretty well much selfishness. It was all about him, and he has to be held accountable to that, not only to Jack, but
absolutely,
to the survivors of Wolf 359. So,
I agree completely.
Is it really selfishness, though, or is it that he has been victimized? Because if you remember, he is the product of an abusive household.
Yes, he
did
is.
not choose
Well, that's
to.
true.
He did not choose to become part of the collective. They took him and violated him against his will and used him as a weapon. So this Picard, for all of his bravado and his heroism and his stories, is at his heart a broken man. He has led this huge storied life, and at the end of it, he is alone and he is in pain. And so
he's not as sharp as he used to be, is he? As we know.
Not. And at the same time, this is the thing. I'm going to say I like Captain Shaw. My opinion of him went up in this episode, but at the same time, whenever you go up to Captain Picard and point your finger at him and said, you killed 10,000 people at Wolf 359, that to me is almost like victim blaming. Like Picard was a victim too.
It was, but I still think he had every right to do that, because from his perspective, and it might be, if he'd done his research, he would have gone, well, Captain Picard went on and saved the galaxy all these other times. One time he turned kind of a villain. But I think that's also part of trauma, was sure he blocked it all out, in a way.
I think it's also easy to blame Picard in this perspective. Okay, hear me out. Him and Seven are the only fully integrated Borgs that were disconnected from the Borg completely and now live, normal lives, right?
Yeah.
They have never really seen that in anyone else. Anyone they known that has been assimilated stays assimilated or dies and, gets blown up in battle. They accept that this person has been lost. Now they have to accept that this is a victim of what was going on. And it's, I think, a transition that's really difficult emotionally to do when you're dealing with your own law. To sit there and go, how much am I going to give credit to this? Every time I look at this person, I see Locutus. Think about it. If you've been a victim of a horrendous attack, and this person, you got a good look at them, then you meet their identical twin. Are you seeing the twin as an individual separate to that person, or do you see the attack that was done on you? It's really hard. I'm not saying it was okay to victim blame, but I think I understand where that pain can lead them to that.
So
I think everyone is in pain.
So here's two things. With number one, with Jack, I think he saw the brow bashing that Picard got from Shaw that kind of opened up a place in his heart for Picard. And I thought that was a great bridge to connect the two. And
that's a good point.
And for Shaw, I get it. He lost a lot of his friends. But John Daraneski in the chat has brought up two great points, and so has Sarah.
Yeah, he did.
Picard had to say that to the cadets to boast him up. But
there's a bit of obligation about what he said, isn't it?
Yeah,
Picard lost
yeah,
exactly.
You kind of lift the spirits up. But this is a good point because Picard lost his family too.
Yeah, of course, generations.
Yeah, generations. Everybody got a little roasty. Yeah. And seeing that Jack does have a family, it's the crew. So Picard got to see that, he does have it, like these crew kids, these cadets are like.
And Jack is saying that Picard does have a family and it's the crew. Exactly. Yeah. And that's also the reason why then Jack has been able to let it go and grieve for the loss of his father, because that happened in that bar room. That when he looked and asked that question.
Yes, and then this is a good one. Yeah, but how long can you blame Picard? This is not DS9 era when Sisko's loss was recent, and we did not understand the Borg as well as what.
I don't know, man. I mean,
okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though.
Sorry, Nita, before you go on.
Yeah.
I just want to say, what about people who, like Jews, who, were in concentration camps in the 60s and 70s? And that's when they started finding a lot of these Nazis and things like that.
Yeah.
Life-altering trauma doesn't go away after a couple of years. And I know people like that. So I understand what you're trying to say, John, but I think it's absolutely he would still have that emotional feeling, especially when you're facing the guy that you believe is a monster.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree. That's what I was going to say. That's what I'm going to say. Trauma is a tree that grows slowly. And it has branches. And sometimes you think you've dealt with these branches, and out springs another set of branches. And trauma is something that really got, and he is dealing with one of the hardest things to overcome, which is survivor's guilt. It is so embedded in him that he is hanging on it because it is what gives him strength to move forward. Now he's faced with who has caused that. And it's forcing him to now really deal with that. You know, sometimes a person who has been victimized, it takes them years before they say, I'm now ready to deal with what happened to me. And they go through an entire process and then try a journey, and they're going, but if they were a victim of XYZ, why are they behaving like that? It's because they were the victims that they're behaving this way. And it takes this journey for them to get to a place where they're ready to say, I need healing. It's sort of like hitting that emotional rock bottom. So I would never put a timeline on Shoa's pain. I can't.
All right, let's move it on. That's okay. Let's get real depressing here. Let's move on.
Anita put on her psychiatry hat.
Let's move on. Come on. And Sarah Andrew.
Yeah, this is a great comment because he did mention the Borg Collective and dismissed them and said, not them, the other Borg. He's talking about the Borg from season 2, the Jordy Borg.
The weird stuff, as he called it, which I thought was an apt description. The weird stuff.
The weird stuff. Yeah. Remember,
my memory's gone blank. I don't remember that.
Yeah, whenever Jordy came back and the Borg Collective joined the Federation, and
yeah,
all that weird stuff. That entire season could have been avoided if Jordy would have, at the very first episode, would have gone, hey, it's me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Stop firing. Turn off the self-destruct. Yeah. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's with the weird mask? What a great episode. That was it. That was
no more comments.
Show has survivor's guilt, agreeing with Nita, and John agrees with everyone. And 100%. Nita's right. So you're getting the I'm right tag next week.
Asshole became a substitute for Sham at one point. How great was that line?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And I think that him saying that is an acknowledgement that his pain has made him bitter.
I love this. It's me. Hi, I'm the Borg. It's me.
That's excellent.
That's amazing. Oh my god. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. I think we've said a lot. We've had a lot to say. We've experienced some emotions.
Everybody stop talking. Stop talking. Okay, continue.
Is there a ghost?
What?
No.
Hey, can I just point out she was right.
Yes,
Battle Cat was right. All right, not you, Cap.
No, the cat was right.
Battle Cat was right.
That's right.
Battle Cat was right.
Battle Cat's always right.
I hope that you are available next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time like you were this week, and you invite your friends over so that they can also win something and name that Trekisode. Yes. Be sure to subscribe to our wondrous channel, Spectrum Sanctorum, which is the host for this and many other podcasts. Be sure to watch all those podcasts. It's so much fun, and we have so much more to share. We've got Captain's Quadrant, which is what you're watching and what you love and what you're here for. You've got The Power of J-Skull, which what you're growing to love and what you should be there for. Looking Forward, which dives into what's coming out into the future. 1 week later, where we look back at something a week after it's come out, and it's spectacular. Behind the Curtain, where we talk to someone behind the scenes of your favorite TV shows or movies. Backtrack Saturday Morning, which is forthcoming. Off the Shelf, which is an amazing show about collections and collectors, and where we give you the moment to speak on what you have and show us what you got. And, of course, our new show that is absolutely stellar, that is called the VHS Vault, where we go back into those wonderful nostalgia throws and give you what you want to see. And that's those horrible, cheesy movies that you thought were amazing.
This,
if you look back,
that is offensive.
I love
They are not horrible, are they, Jason?
No, they're not horrible. They're great.
aside
Swamp
from
Thing?
a couple of the Friday the 13th movies, I have enjoyed every single one, even Ator.
Yes.
Really? Even Ator?
Yes.
Even Ator. It
And
was
Swamp
fun.
Thing
Swamp
and
Thing was
Cannibal
amazing.
Run.
I love Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Swamp Thing was
I like
so good.
For some
TV
reason, we
show
keep
was
running into
so
Adrian
much
Barbeau on the show.
Yeah, we do.
There's Adrian Barbeau right there.
Yeah.
Oh wow! It's 6 degrees of Adrian Barbeau.
Yes.
That's what the show
That's
is.
what we should
But
have.
check it out. It's a great show. We have a lot of fun.
It is. It's a fantastic show, and I thank you gentlemen for doing that. Until next time, I wish everyone peace and prosperity.
And prosperity? Really?
Yeah.
And
I'm probably
prosperity.
wrong about that too.
Oh, look, prosperity.
We'll come back just for the pause. We'll come back for the pause. Damn, it's cute.
That's a cute
One day it's going to grow up and rip your face off, I think.
It's already tried.
Yeah.